Other news and notes. There was a report this week from Andrew Zarian of the Mat Men podcast regarding Bray Wyatt. That prior to him being released by WWE, some within the company said that he was, quote, being difficult. And that he had some performance issues in the ring. And that he had some weight issues. And Zarian said he wasn't saying that those things are necessarily what led to him being let go, but you can sort of read between the lines and figure that all of those things may have taken together played a role. And in addition to there being financial aspects to his release, that can't be discounted either, that there were also financial considerations for them doing what they did. WWE, when they fired him, which is what they did, I don't know why people don't use that word. I mean, I use the word released also, but let's call it what it is. The guy got fucking fired. When he got fired, the claim, the belief, the reports were that it was part of their budget cuts. That's the excuse they give to everybody. When they get the call from John Laurinaitis, it's budget cuts, right? So he was apparently told the same thing, budget cuts. That didn't pass the smell test then. It doesn't pass the smell test now. Zarian said that there were financial considerations involved, but that it was multiple things that led to his release. And his own happiness may have played a part as well. To which I say, why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't it? How could this man have been happy being kept off television for months on end when he wasn't even hurt? There was no indication of him being hurt. There was no indication of there being any sort of medical issue that would have kept him out for 5, 6, 7 months. It wasn't mental health issues, as some people erroneously claimed. He was sitting on the sidelines for months doing nothing, collecting dust, watching his character be handed off, basically, to somebody else. It was somebody else's play toy now. Being beaten like a jabroni by Goldberg. Being burned alive by Randy Orton. Losing at WrestleMania. And then disappearing. They should have given him a magician gimmick for his great vanishing skills. Or turned him into a ninja. We all know how much they love their ninjas. They totally diminished that Fiend character and hung this guy out to dry. And this stuff about weight issues, I could believe that weight issues maybe were a problem for him earlier in his career. But when he came back at WrestleMania last year, he looked good. I mean, dare I say, he looked slim. There was even WrestleMania last year, WrestleMania this year. I don't even know what fucking year it is anymore. When he came back at WrestleMania this year, he looked slimmer. And then there was a photo months later that somebody posted online running into him at a supermarket this was during his time off. And this probably would have been not long before he was let go. And he looked great. So the idea that weight issues played any kind of real role, in him losing his job, to me just reads like a lame reason to excuse the way they dropped the ball with this guy. Him being difficult, quote unquote difficult. If I were him, I'd be raising hell too. To try to get back on TV and try to get back in the game. I mean, think about it. What have we heard over the years about Bray Wyatt? We've heard about what a great mind he has, what a great creative mind that this guy has. And a lot of the ideas with the Fiend character were ideas of his own, right? So imagine if you have somebody like that with that kind of personality and that kind of mind, where he's always thinking of ideas, itching to get back and do something, and you sideline him. Yeah, he's not going to be very happy about that. Now, what this whole him being difficult, what does that even mean? I hear that. I get the sense this isn't exactly a company that tolerates a lot of dissent. I would love to know how Bray Wyatt was being difficult. Was he being a pain in the ass because he kept telling people, hey, put me back on TV? And they wouldn't do it? Does that constitute him being difficult? I would love further explanation of what exactly is meant by Bray Wyatt being difficult. Because all I see here, when I look at how this guy was treated in the last 6, 8, 9 months of his career, if it were me, I wouldn't be very quiet. Maybe he was doing the same. And they just got sick and tired of hearing from him, and they said, let's just get rid of this guy. This guy's being a pain in our ass. But I would love to know what that means. The Observer reported this week that the idea of The Rock making an appearance in Brooklyn at Survivor Series for the 25th anniversary of his debut at the Survivor Series back in 1996, is out the window because he's going to be on location in Australia filming Season 2 of Young Rock for NBC. But the idea is still to do Rock against Roman Reigns at WrestleMania in Los Angeles in 2023. 2023 is a long ways off. And it seems like every time they have a plan for The Rock to get back in the ring, it falls through due to his schedule. I would not bank on a Roman Reigns match with The Rock at WrestleMania 39, WrestleMania 40, or WrestleMania 41. And he may even be open to doing it. I'm not saying he doesn't want to do it. In the past, he has expressed being open to the idea. So they may want it to happen. Rock might want it to happen. I don't see how it ever gets done. The guy is just way too busy. He spreads himself so thin, it doesn't leave time for him to do anything else. I think it's WWE holding on to the dimming hope of getting Rock back in the ring for one last match. And if that's the case, then I think WWE needs to come up with a plan B. WWE has canceled the TLC pay-per-view planned for Chicago in December. This will be the first year without a TLC show since 2008. And as such, there will be no pay-per-views in the month of December. That goes for WWE or AEW. Not a single pay-per-view for either of them in the month of December. The decision came down to them already running a pay-per-view on New Year's Day, with the Royal Rumble then being scheduled for January 29th. So we're going to get 2 pay-per-views from WWE in the month of January. They did not want to run back-to-back shows within 2 weeks of each other, so they just decided to get rid of the TLC show. I support this decision. Now do Hell in a Cell. Another unnecessary gimmick pay-per-view. Hell in a Cell and TLC never should have been a thing to begin with. The former Buddy Murphy, now going by the name Buddy Matthews, was just announced last night as making his New Japan debut next month at the company's Battle in the Valley show in San Jose, November 13th. That is the same night as the Full Gear pay-per-view. Very cool to hear. Hopefully he, like Malachi Black in AEW, will have a chance to go out there and really start tearing it up in the ring and show people what they have been missing out on. He's a great talent. And I think him in a company like New Japan or him in a company like Impact, I think he would do very well for himself. And I wish him nothing but the best. Hopefully at some point, maybe if that forbidden door swings back open, you know, if he's going to be working with New Japan, who knows? We may get another match one day between Buddy Matthews and Malachi Black. I always enjoyed their matches in WWE. And I sometimes do sad tweet on this podcast, as you know, but this week we have a happy tweet of the week. Not like Happy Corbin, he's the happy twit of the week. It comes from Kevin Nash, who has made quite the babyface turn on social media these past few years. On Friday, he tweeted a photo of himself at the gym with the caption, "Great day at Indiana Comic-Con. Thanks NWO Nation for the strong showing. Fantastic hotel gym. Got arms and abs in. Thanks The Rock," he tagged The Rock, "for putting out these badass kicks. Looking forward to seeing everyone tomorrow. I'll hit my table at 10:30, despite a nice wine list." Nash does love his wine. His wine and his ravioli. Never forget. The Rock responded, since he was tagged, to say, "You're an inspiration, my brother. In tremendous shape. Holy shit. Way to raise the bar." To which Nash replied, "Following your lead. Your work ethic is amazing. Your filming schedule would kill most mortals, but the promotion for your films is the grind. You film and promote at the same time. Sorry I was such a dick to you when I came back in 2002. Just trying to keep my spot." Well, that was nice of him to say and admit. This is not the first time that Nash has tried to make amends for being selfish about his spot during that period. He and Rock exchanged messages last year as well, with Nash saying that he wishes his head was where it is today, back then, that they could have had a great 6-month program together if it was. He genuinely seems like he is more reflective now in his older age. You know, the issue between them goes back to when Hogan, Hall, and Nash came back to the company in 2002. On Raw, I think it was the night after WrestleMania, Rock called Nash Big Daddy Bitch during a promo, which was supposedly an improvised line that caught Nash by surprise. He was not happy about that. There were rumors that Nash would always talk shit about Rock when he was still in WCW, that, you know, one day if he and I are ever on the mic together, you know, I'll make him look bad or whatever, which is laughable. But I can believe that he would have, you know, in his mind, that he would have believed he would have mopped the floor with The Rock on the mic. There was heat there, but Nash apparently has seen the error of his ways and is giving us a dose of humility on social media, which is not something that we see on there very often. Either that or he's angling for a spot in the next Jumanji movie. Either way, Kevin Nash wins for Happy Tweet of the Week.